Okay, this is the engine bay of a 1967 Camaro. This guy happens to be gold with black accents on it. The engine is a correct style 327 engine that was released with this car, new in 1967. It has power steering, no power brakes, but it does have a dual stage master cylinder in it. The VIN tag, cowl tag, is still nice and legible on the firewall. This guy happens to have factory air conditioning in it. You can see it right here, factory air. Everything is as it was in 1967 when it was released by GM. It does have a few performance appointments on it. It has a Edelbrock intake manifold on it, a Hawley carburetor, dual feed, has a set of chrome valve pan covers. They retained the original cast iron exhaust manifolds, put a set of high temp silicone plug wires on it. I think it still appears to be the original GM distributor also with it yet. Has a flex fan on the front, has a correct fan shroud for it and a high flow radiator that came with these guys. You can see that the radiator core support hasn't been disrupted in any way. It does have an auxiliary MSD ignition box on it with the coil mounted on the driver's side fender. It gives it a lot more spark voltage-wise than the standard system came with. Nice engine compartment. There's no leaks or anything evident at this point anyway in the engine compartment. Nice looking engine compartment, nice chrome accents on it, has a 14-inch unsilenced air cleaner on it. These motors made some pretty substantial horsepower. They were right around a 300 horsepower mark with a 4-barrel on them. 327s were really underrated engines. But this guy is a nice looking, very well equipped 1967 Camaro. We're going to go around the rest of it for you now. You're at Hangsters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and today our representation is for a 1967 Camaro. This guy happens to be gold and black, obviously. Really nice looking car. It's an RS car, has the optional style cowl induction hood that everyone likes. The paint on this car, again, is a much better grade than a driver quality. It's a very, very well laid on paint job that someone put on this vehicle. The gaps around the hood, to the front area, to the fenders, to the cowl area, everything is just as nice as you would hope to find on one. The stripe, instead of being vinyled on, is painted on and cleared over, so you don't have to worry about that coming off. It is an RS car. This car does have an RS package on it with the peekaboo headlights. And you can see the grille itself. There's no chip marks or anything, no windows missing in it. The front bumper has the chrome just as sweet and nice as you'd ever hope. There's no foot marks, no scuffs, no scratches whatsoever in it, no dinghies. The alignment is very nice on the car. It has a front spoiler the way it should. It has the front framework nylon pieces that if you need to put a license plate on the front, you can, and the front valance is free of any dents or pulls or marks or anything whatsoever on it. Parking lights are just as fresh and clean as can be also. Nice front end on the car. Going down the side of it, you can see it does have wheel lip moldings on it. These appear to be, Donnie will tell you, but they're going to be either 18s, I think they're 18s and 19s, but that'll be on a spec sheet that you can read to see what the wheel size and tires are. Correct wiper arms and blades for this guy. Tinted glass in the front with the sunshade. Looking in, you can see that the top of the dash is nice and clean, as is the dash pad. Again, look at the fitment of this car. The hood to the fenders to the door, fender to the door. Correct style mirror for 1967, the round ones on this guy. This chrome that's usually deteriorated is nice and fresh as can be. Obviously, it has a black vinyl top on it, and the top has absolutely no raised portions in it where there shows any indication of rust being underneath the vinyl, which is quite common on a lot of these cars. It wipes whiskers around the top of the doors and onto the tinted glass on the sides also. A little scrape on the glass here from being put up and down through the years. There must have been an adjustment piece that came loose at one point that put a little scrape on it there. Certainly nothing to hurt the value of the car. Again, look at the gaps and the door fitment on this thing, just as sweet as you'd ever hope. Obviously a real fancy set of chrome wheels, and again, I don't know the wheel and tire size, but Donnie's going to have that on a spec sheet, so you'll know exactly what size wheels and tires are on the vehicle. The side of the vehicle is just as nice as you could hope to find. The door alignment to the front fender to the quarter panel is spot on, cannot possibly be any better. Going around the back, you can see that the deck lid fits the same way as the hood. Nice alignment on it. The paint is to die for on this thing. I mean, it is just the nicest laid gold paint I've seen in a long time. There's no fogginess or no fade in it anywhere. The spoiler, the same as you'd hope to find on any of these cars, just as nice as it could possibly be. There's no deterioration on the trim pieces around your bezels around your tail light assemblies. And since it is an RS car, it does have the backup lights underneath the back bumper. And again, the back bumper is like the front one. There's no scuff marks or no imperfections in the chrome itself. It's just as nice as can be. RS designation on the gas cap the way it would be. There's an original equipment spare, which needs some air in it, but it does have original equipment spare, jack, and there's your frame for the license plate in the front. If you look, there's no deterioration or no trauma whatsoever in the trunk or the quarter panels on either side, and there's no mat in it so that you can see the trunk hasn't been replaced or had any indication of any rust present at any point in time. There's the original, look at this, original jacking instructions still affixed to the underside. This is the original paint on the car. It's been dusted over on the outside, but not inside the doors or around here. This is all original. New rubbers, of course, new weather seals throughout, but this is definitely new. Going around the passenger side, I think we're going to find the same thing we found on the driver's side. The hatch shelf has two aftermarket speakers in them, but no deterioration whatsoever on it. It's just as fresh and clean as you'd hope. The top on this side, same as the other side. Drip rail is just as nice. There's no dents or deviations or marks in it whatsoever. The wipes and whiskers, the same as the other side also. Just as fresh as you'd hope to find. Going to open the door, which we should have done on the other side too, but we didn't, but we're going to do it all from this side. The inner panel, you can see, is correct for the deluxe interior that this car was released with. It is an automatic console with the auxiliary gauges above the console. You can see that the kick panels are all fresh and nice in it. The carpeting is nice. It has a set of GM floor mats in it. The dash has no marks or cracks or deviations in it. The interior has seat belts in the front. In the back, though, I can't see. No seat belts in the back, but we have seat belts in the front of the car. Nice interior in the car, very fresh, nice looking interior in the car. You can see the inside the doors and around the jambs and everything is just as fresh and clean as you'd ever hope to find. The doors line up and close the way they're supposed to. Right-hand mirror, it's a nice addition to any of these cars to have. And again, the gap on the back of the door and the front of the door, fender, hood, everything lining up as it should. Camaro designation on the side, 327 with the flags. This car is a very, very straight, nice car. RS on the front, because that's what it is. 1967 Camaro. It does have a cowl induction hood in it, which would not be original for 1967 Camaro, but it really adds to the aesthetics of this car, and so do the wheels. The wheels, I'm not a chrome wheel guy, but it sure gives this car a lot of pop to it. And of course, it is an RS car, so it does have the peekaboo headlights, and it's a great color combination. It's a metallic gold with a much better than average paint job on it, with all the black accents and tinted glass and an automatic with the correct 327 engine in it, with factory air conditioning and power steering. Got a nice Camaro here. Take a look at it. It's here at Hanksters. Okay, this is the underside of our 1967 Camaro. Cowl induction hood, silver, gold car, black accent stripes, vinyl top on it. Very, very nice car. Drum brakes in the front, new shocks in the front, brand new gear reduction starter, high torque starter on it. The tie rod ends, everything looks to be nice and fresh on it, everything nice and clean. The pipes are the original style 2-inch pipes that came down off of the cast iron exhaust manifolds. There's no shield on the bell housing area. A lot of guys leave these off, especially in the southern cars, to help generate a little bit of airflow through there, help keep the transmission fluid cool. The engine, as you can see, has absolutely no leaks whatsoever on it, nor the bell housing area or the transmission. Everything is free of leaks at this point. Again, the manifolds dump into the, I'm going to call them 2-inch primary pipes going back toward the two under chassis mufflers. Subframes in the front are just as nice as you'd ever hope to find. This is the correct style canister also. Canister filter for 1967. The floor pans have no deterioration or distortion whatsoever on them. I'm jumping all over the place here, but no leaks on the speedometer housing area or the tail shaft area. That's all fresh and clean and free of leaks at this point. The parking brake still hooked up and functional to the rear. It has U-joints appear to have been replaced on the drive shaft. The subframes in the back, just as nice as the ones in the front. There's no indications of deterioration at all whatsoever on them. Has the original brake line still intact on them, and the original fuel line still intact also. How about that? The undercarriage of this car is just the way it was in 1967. Monoleaf rear suspension in this particular car, which means it will have a 10-volt rear end in it, which it does for a 327 engine. The gas tank is the original tank in it. It has one little nerf in the center of it here. There's a little curvature, a little punch mark in the center. But other than that, the car is just as clean and fresh and nice underneath as you would ever hope to find. It a lot of originality. It still has the original splatter coating, undercoating the GM put on the floor pans. Of course, it's been dusted over in semi-flat black to help accentuate the undercarriage of the car. New shocks in the rear also. Of course, a new round of rubber all over the place on this thing, front and back. This is a nice car. It has a lot of originality underneath. It's a 327. And don't cut that one short, because those 327s made a lot of horsepower for the cubic inches that they were. It's a nice car underneath that's available here at Hanksters in Daytona Beach. Take a look at it. Okay, 67 gold and black Camaro. Really nice looking car. An RS car. A really great looking car. Horn working just like it should. Let's see. Gauges, as you can see, temperature just starting to come up. Oil pressure holding nice and strong, just the way it should. Amp gauge functioning as it should. Radio probably won't work, and we don't care. Air conditioning. Put that one there. There it is. Kicked right on. You can hear the compressor kick on. So we have air conditioning. This car does have a functional air conditioning system in it. Okay, let's see. Windshield wipers. Wipers functioning as they should. Okay, horns working, wipers working. The left turn signal working. Okay, right turn signal working. Tach actually working too. A little guy sitting right here between the two gauge pods. So we have everything functioning as it should, with the exception of the radio, and we don't care. Let's go for a ride, see what this guy runs like. That car runs nice, straight and true. No hands on the wheel. and it's just going straight as an arrow down the road. Look at this. Absolutely no deviation whatsoever. Real nice, tight running car. There's no vibrations or squeaks or squeals or anything. When his car go by, we'll do, there's a guy behind me, but let's do brakes, no hands. There it is, brakes, no hands, and we got an upset driver behind me. No pull to the left or right, just as nice as you hope to find. Strong running car. It's 327. Numbers matching from what we understand. Don't even give you the specs in the description, but really nice car. It's a nice, tight driving car. It shifts well, drives well. Can't really give you anything negative on it. It has a cowl induction hood on it. Factory air conditioning. It's a nice, straight running car. Turn it around here and give it a little shot so you can hear how it runs. Shot here. Got so many cars out here today, Jesus. Hear how the car runs and shifts and drives. A pretty hard shift within the second. Definitely no slippage in the transmission. It's got a little bit of a shift kit in it. Nice strong running car. It goes straight as an arrow. The carburetor opens just like it should. The motor has a good strong sound to it. Nice running Camaro. Straight as an arrow car. Look at this. I mean, you look at the steering wheel. There's a high resolution box in it too. The steering's very, very punchy. And if you let go of the steering wheel, it goes down the road just as straight as you've ever hoped to find. I'm still not touching the steering wheel. It's going straight as an arrow. It's a nice car. It's a car that you can take out and use on a daily basis if you want, and just have a heck of a lot of fun with it. 1967 wing only year for the Camaros, and just a nice, straight, rust-free car with all the amenities that you'd ever hope to find. Thanks, Daytona Beach.